This is Mac OS Ken.
Apple may be cutting iPhone SE orders, the fall and rise of Apple shares, and Dutch regulators consider Apple's latest offer. It is Tuesday, the 29th of March, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Kanji, device management for your Apple environment. Learn more at kanji.io/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Can any one thing fix everything? I doubt it. Can BetterHelp help you? If you're ready for it, I think it can. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. I like that level of flexibility. And I like the fact that BetterHelp does what it can to find the right therapist for you. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Do they get it right every time? I will tell you, they do not. BetterHelp paired me with somebody one time that just wasn't the right fit. Not only did it cost me nothing to change therapists, they had me with somebody who did help in under a day. Give it a try and see why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp online therapy. As mentioned before, this show is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Mac OS Ken listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. BetterHelp. That's betterhelp.com/macOSKen. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. And thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's show. What do the Ukraine war and looming inflation have in common? They're contributing to Apple cutting iPhone SE production plans by 20% next quarter, according to a piece from Nikkei. Well, according to so-and-so's briefed on the matter who spoke with Nikkei Asia. According to the piece, 4 secret sources tell Nikkei Asia that Apple is now telling multiple suppliers that it aims to lower production orders by about 2 million to 3 million units for the quarter, citing weaker than expected demand. Nikkei is not the only source making the assertion. TF International analyst Ming-Chi hit Twitter on Sunday night, Monday morning, saying, Shanghai lockdown doesn't affect the iPhone SE production. However, the new iPhone SE demand is lower than expected, the delivery status in stock as one of the proofs, and I cut my shipment estimate in 2022 to 15 to 20 million units versus 25 to 30 million previously. I saw a headline somewhere that said the reported reduction in production proves that Apple should drop the whole iPhone SE idea. If you will allow me to opine, I think that's wrong for a couple of reasons. 1, secret sources are not proof of anything. They could be correct, they could be mistaken. But assuming they are correct gets us to thing number 2. Nobody is saying there's a lack of interest in the phone itself. But concerns over inflation and war may weigh more than a new phone right now. As Nikkei points out, numerous governments from the US and the EU to Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan have imposed economic sanctions against Russia over its invasion of Ukraine, and the supply chain has been rocked by turmoil in the oil, energy, and raw materials markets. The looming inflation risks further adding to people's living costs and creates concerns over demand for consumer electronics products. In the wake of Nikkei's iPhone SE report, Apple shares did something predictable, then something unpredictable. Predictably, the shares went down. Barron's ran a piece Monday morning noting the Nikkei notice, followed by the fall of shares of Apple and some of its component suppliers. The report said that shares of Apple, Qorvo, Broadcom, Qualcomm, and Skyworks Solutions were all down, and they were in the morning. Qorvo fell 2.2%, though they recovered a bit, ending the day down 1.5% to close at 128.86. Broadcom declined 0.1%, though it ended up gaining half a percentage point on the day, closing a few cents shy of $633. Qualcomm fell 0.5%, though it ended the day up a third of a percentage point, closing at 158.45. Skyworks dropped 0.8%, though it recovered an itty-bitty bit of that, ending the day just above 137. And oh yeah, the whole reason we're here. Barron said Apple shares were falling 5% on Monday to 171.36. The stock has risen for 9 straight sessions, and now you can make that 10. Not only did it claw back the 5%, it picked up close to another percentage point, ending the day at 175.60. By definition, any trading session is history. Mondays was historic for Apple in the way we tend to mean it informally, though. A piece from MarketWatch sailed in under the headline, Apple stock just accomplished something for the first time in more than a decade, that had the subheading, Shares increase for the 10th consecutive session for the first time since 2010, shrugging off report of iPhone SE production cuts to end in the black. October 2010 was the last time that happened, according to the report. A chart I found from the Wall Street Journal showed that happening a very few times and only beating the 10-day streak once. Apple's longest string of up days was a 12-day streak that ended in May of 2003. So how did Apple deliver on a day of rumored iPhone cuts? We don't know. It's possible that Apple bought back some of its own shares. It's possible that eagle-eyed investors bought the dip. It's possible that folks were turned on by thoughts from the Hube. Why don't we check in with her? A note from Morgan Stanley analyst Katie Huberty may have helped buoy Apple shares despite the iPhone SE note from Nikkei. Apple 3.0 had Huberty publishing a note Monday in reaction to talk of Apple hardware subscriptions. Bloomberg ran a piece late last week saying that Apple is working on a subscription service for the iPhone and other hardware products. That piece said that Apple wants to make that happen by the end of this year, though the company could push the plan to next year or drop the idea entirely. Despite that heaping helping of uncertainty, the idea is worth considering in Huberty's estimation. Quoting her note, a pivot from selling hardware products in the traditional price times units model to monetizing Apple's greater than 1 billion user base through bundled monthly subscription offerings could drive meaningful upside to Apple's share price today, given the growing lifetime value of an Apple user. And you will pay in her estimation. After doing a bit of back-of-the-envelope math, Huberty's note says Apple users spent slightly less than $1 per day on all Apple products and services in 2021. Compare that with your average daily coffee, lunch, or transportation bill, and it's easy to see how the ceiling on Apple daily spend per user is well ahead of current trends, given 1, the importance of the Apple technology platform to users' everyday lives, 2, high user engagement rates for Apple products and services, 3, industry-leading loyalty rates, and 4, the optionality of integration with future product launches in adjacent markets like AR and VR, home, payments, health, and autos. We are confident that the average Apple user's willingness to pay for access to their Apple devices and services is meaningfully higher than $1 a day or $30 a month. Huberty has an overweight rating on Apple shares. Her price target on the shares is $210. Morgan Stanley's Huberty isn't the only one buying the idea of people renting iPhones. The folks at Consumer Intelligence Research Partners, or CIRP, say consumers are halfway down that road already. According to a survey run last December, almost half of Apple customers quizzed in the U.S. already finance their iPhone purchases. 2/3 use paid iCloud storage, and almost half subscribe to the Apple Music streaming service. In short, they are primed. That said, not unlike Bernstein research analyst Tony Sacconaghi, CIRP partner Josh Lowitz thinks Apple will need to sweeten the deal. Quoting the research partner's partner, the most successful subscription services provide new or otherwise unavailable benefits. Amazon Prime delivery is distinct from other delivery options. Costco shopping and Netflix and other streaming video services are only available with a subscription. The challenge for Apple is to create a new subscription service that provides unique value to its customers. More news in a moment, but first a word from Kanji, device management for your Apple environment. Good news! New hires coming, and they're going to have tons of questions for you. Where's the bathroom? Where's the coffee maker? Where's the computer you want me to use to do my work? Yes, they're full of questions, and getting their gear ready is easy with Kanji. With Kanji, a new Mac, iPad, or iPhone can be ready for your new hire right away with all the apps and settings they need. If you've got somebody new coming into sales or somebody new coming onto the data team, you know the apps they need. So does Kanji, thanks to Blueprints. Blueprints let you easily assign the right apps, security controls, and automations to each device based on team, department, or location. Works great for education environments as well. Kanji can help you keep things organized, spending less time managing devices and more time helping your people. And of course, Kanji keeps that blueprint. If an app is uninstalled or a setting gets changed, the Kanji agent detects it and fixes it, saving you time and trouble. Go to kanji.io/macOSKen for a free demo and trial. That's KANDJI, kanji.io/macOSKen. Find out why companies like Lacework, Allbirds, Segment, and others use Kanji for zero-touch Apple device management. KANDJI, again, that is kanji.io/macOSKen. Your free demo and trial are waiting at kanji.io/macOSKen. You know, there is one surprising factor to consider around the turnaround surprise for Apple shares Monday. The Sunday night Best Picture win for CODA. Not kidding. With that win, Apple TV Plus became the first streaming service to land an Academy Award for Best Picture, a win that Wedbush analyst Daniel Ives refers to as a drop-the-mic moment for Apple. Apple 3.0 ran part of a note he wrote on Monday. The way he sees it, Apple beating Netflix and Amazon Prime Video to a Best Picture statue should significantly bolster its subscriber base while attracting more A-plus Hollywood talent to its platform for future projects. We view this Oscar win as a game changer for Apple on its content efforts and legitimizes the Apple TV Plus as a major streaming platform with much more success ahead, and the street now starting to take more notice. The note goes on to say, we believe consumer subscriber growth should accelerate from Apple's Oscar win and will give Cook & Company more confidence around potentially doubling their content efforts over the next year. With Apple spending roughly $7 billion annually on original content and having roughly $200 billion of cash on its balance sheet, we believe the company is gearing up to ramp original content and also bid on a number of upcoming sports packages coming up for contract or renewals in future years. Ives has an outperform rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares is $200. A follow-up to a story we've been following since the first of the year: insistence by Dutch regulators that Apple make it possible for dating apps in the App Store in the Netherlands to employ third-party payment solutions rather than being bound to Apple's in-app payment mechanism. Last week, we heard that Apple had submitted new proposals to come in line with Dutch authorities. Over the weekend, we heard that regulators in Holland had rejected the new proposals. It's unclear whether that report was an error or Apple has presented newer proposals still. Whatever the case, a piece from Apple Insider says that ball is still in the air, and there's even a hint of optimism around it. In a statement, the piece says the Dutch Authority for Consumers and Markets offers that it welcomes Apple's proposal and that the adjusted proposal should result in definitive conditions for dating app providers that wish to use the App Store. After receiving a proposal for definitive conditions, the ACM then will consult with market participants, such as dating app providers, before issuing a decision of compliance. Conversely, if the proposal is rejected again or still, stop on a whammy. Despite having hit the €50 million penalty ceiling, Apple Insider says the ACM warns that there could be more payments in the future. If ACM comes to the conclusion that Apple does not meet the requirements, ACM may impose another order subject to periodic penalty payments, the regulator says. And finally today, if you see somebody walking around England with a big teched-out backpack, scanning and beeping like they're from the future, fear not. It's just somebody from Apple mapping the nooks and crannies of 3 of the country's biggest cities. The UK's Evening Standard says Apple has launched ground surveys on the streets of London, Birmingham, and Manchester to gather pedestrian data for its Apple Maps service, using special backpacks to capture the necessary data. From now through the middle of May, backpacks with cameras and other data-collecting sensors will turn up on the backs of walkers where cars can't go. The report says the push is part of Apple's plan to improve the look-around feature in Apple Maps. That's Apple's Google Street View type feature that lets people look around and walk around an area without actually having to walk around it. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Kanji, device management for your Apple environment. Learn more at kanji.io/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.